all day long. I could do this all day. No, all day. Yeah, I can. Thanks. Distractions. Distractions. Today on 6 Minute Sunday. Cell phones, internet, radio, bills, work, kids, health, parents, ball games, distractions. The world is full of distractions, and some distractions are good things, good distractions. There's plenty of things that I just named that are good things. Some distractions, not so good things, distracting us from good things. Either way, Paul talks a little about this in 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, when he's continuing that theme of, man, we had to leave you, church, and we didn't want to go, but we had to leave. And Paul says, man, when I got away, I worried about you. You were on my heart. You were on my mind. And so we sent Timothy to you. And he talks about that. And he says, I was left alone where I was because I sent everybody one direction, and I had Timothy and I wanted him with me for company, but I sent him to you. Why? Why did he send me there? Because the church in Thessalonica needed Timothy to keep them grounded, keep them anchored, remind them of the word. That's what Paul thought. And so he sent Timothy, and Timothy brings back this report that says, Paul, they're good. Paul, they're good. They're keeping the faith. They're loving one another. Right? And Paul says, man, continue on in that. And he says, the reason I sent Timothy was because I did not want you to get distracted. Check this out. He says, I didn't want you to be moved by persecution. Now, depending on the version of the Bible you're reading or that you're comfortable with, you may hear, I didn't want you to be moved by persecution or affliction. I didn't want you to be shaken. I didn't want you to be unsettled. I didn't want you to be disturbed. Different versions use a few of those different words, right? But it's this common theme of, I did not want you to be moved off your course by persecution, by affliction. I didn't want you to be shaken. I didn't want you to be disturbed. If you look at the root of that word that's being translated, it's the equivalent to, check this out, dog lovers, a dog wagging its tail. Now, I'm a dog guy, so I won't say anything negative about a dog because they're the best, right? And if you're a dog person, you get that. If you're a cat person, we'll pray for you, right? But if you're a dog person, you understand, like when a dog wags its tail, man, if you love dogs, what does that make you want to do? It makes you want to just give that dog all the more attention because they're just happy. They're wagging their tail. They love the attention that you're giving them. And so you're scratching them behind the ears. You're rubbing them on the belly. They're wagging that tail. You're like, man, yeah, this is great. This is good interaction. I want you to have more of this. And so that dog wagging its tail is calling for your attention. And the word that's used here, I didn't want you to be moved, unsettled, shaken, disturbed. That word that they're trying to translate there is the equivalent to a dog wagging its tail, a distraction that calls you away from your previous course of action. The word would later come to mean something that flatters you, something that infatuates you, that fascinates you, that beguiles you. Right? And so this word, what Paul's saying is, man, there are distractions out there, and some of those distractions are tough. Persecution, affliction, and it may cause you to lose your course, to lose focus of what's important. Are you living right there? Are you facing something tough, health-wise, financially wise, family wise, church wise, and you can see what Paul's talking about, that you have two courses of action when you're facing affliction. Run to God, soak up his word, read the Psalms, man, and look at David pour out his heart and say, God, I'm hurting here. Have you forgotten me? And then he lays out his heart and he says, no, you would never forget me. Your promises are true. I know you hear me. And he lays all that out. Check out Psalm 23, Psalm 40, if you're hurting, right? But Paul says, man, you got two options here. You can run to God, or the other option is not so great. You can be distracted, moved, shaken. Because afflictions will do that to us if we're not grounded in his word. They'll become a distraction from what is true and what is real, and that's the love of Christ. And they'll distract us and move us in another direction. And our Bible will begin to collect dust because life isn't going the way we planned. And our prayer life will begin to be dormant because things aren't turning out the way that we thought they were supposed to turn out. Hang in there. Soak up the word. Go to God in prayer. He says, man, I'm strongest when you're the weakest. And his ways are higher than our ways. He knows better than us how this thing should go. Hang in there. Don't be distracted. Don't be moved. Don't be shaken. Man, there are things out there that are calling for your attention. They're wagging their tail and they're saying, come, put all your attention over here. And God's saying, man, I've got the answer that you need in this book and in time in prayer. Come over here. Spend your time and attention over here. And you'll be the one that ends up wagging your tail, right? Because you'll be the one that ends up soaking that up. That attention on affliction and hopelessness, it'll drain you out. It'll leave you empty. Humbly come before God and say, you got what I need. I need you. And the distractions of the world, man, pray that they fade away. Pray that they fade away. When God says take action, take action. In the meantime, spend time with him. Wait for his word to come in.